interested in what I do, this is a good time to, just get a little closer with me and find out. Yeah, there goes my dog. Yeah, there he goes. Did you hear that? That as I started, and that's what he goes. Eagle, can you just take him for me, please? Thank you very much. Right. Yes. Okay, folks. So welcome to my show today with Set in the back and Eagle doing this stuff. But I'm here. You see, it's a time of day. That's why I prefer to go live very early in the morning. Not so, Eagle. My first son just woke up. But anyway, let's get on with our show. I want to talk today about values. And can you have competing values? Sometimes when I think about life, I feel like sometimes there are certain values that we say don't go together, so we don't pursue them. And I have a few examples, a few of these values that seem to be at opposite ends of the continuum. And so we don't even try to reconcile them in our lives. So, welcome to the Diamonds in the To All the Girls Success Club. I hope you're doing well. Instagram, please say hi if you are here. Hey, Natalie. Hey, everybody. Welcome and welcome to the show. Okay, right? You remember a value is something that you hold in high regard. A value might not be present in your life, or it might be present in your life and you don't value it. Maybe you have something in your life, you don't value it. Or it's not bound to be something that is already manifested in your life. And I always give the example of, let's say you're single, okay? But you have a value of wanting a romantic relationship. It's important to you to have a partner. What about that? Can you, even though it is not a reality, the fact that you are valuing it, I didn't say like hankering after it and just being in scarcity because of it. I'm saying just to hold it as a value, to cherish it. By all means, I do believe that if you continue to hold certain things as values, right, that they it will happen. It will definitely happen. I don't know what you think about it, but I just think that's exactly what it is. What do you think, Instagram? You let me know. So you guys, I'm trying to get the setup right in terms of Instagram here and looking into my camera. So please forgive me if it looks like, I'm off camera at certain points. I'm here. Please listen to what I have to say. I won't waste your time. I promise. So that's just a little spiel because I've been thinking. So there are two in particular that I wrote and, just really delved into that I want to look at today. And here they are. Can you have a value of being wealthy and having a spiritual life, being deeply not religious? I just don't like religious. Religious is like, I think, the antithesis of spirituality. Religious is the antithesis of having a relationship with God to me, because you're just going through the paces. So of course you're just gonna go with what you think is, instead of taking the time to get into some kind of organic relationship with God. Okay? So I'm talking about, can you be wealthy? A lot of church people think that it's not right to be wealthy. It's not right to go after money, because the current misconception is that money is the root of all evil, when what the Bible clearly says is that the love of money is the root of all evil. And if we're on that spiritual path, I always teach this with my clients. Even when I do master classes about starting business or whatever, there are literally, if you're on that path, there are literally verses in the Bible that will support you going after wealth. So, for example, I can't remember the the chapter and verse right now, but there are two verses that stand out for me: that money answers all things, and secondly, there's now the money answers all things, and I forgot the second one. So it's not really that money is the root of all evil. It is that the love of money is the root of all evil. And also, money answers all things. Okay, and here's the second one: money is a defense. Try getting yourself into some kind of trouble and not being able to bail yourself out or bail a family member out. Then you'll recognize that, hey, it wasn't just about raising my hands. I had to get out, because God says that He gives you the power to get wealth as well. All of these things are in the Bible. Hey, Evelyn, how are you doing? All of these things are in the Bible. So I do believe that it's a matter of how you look at certain things. That one is very clear. Wealth. and having some kind of spiritual relationship. All of these things go together. Hey, Jason, how are you doing? These things go together. And you can't find justification for it in the same Bible that you want to put at that end of the continuum. Here's something else too. If it is about what I think the value is, what does we and we're still on wealth and looking at it, does it take you far away from God? Does it bring you closer to God? Does it even matter? Are the two things even connected? And I don't even think that they are. When you do have wealth, you can do more for God's people. You can help more people, can't you? So you can't be loving money and not giving. Like those two things don't go together. So it's not a value there. But what is the conception? Like, what are you thinking it means to be wealthy? A lot of people will be very resentful of entrepreneurs, very resentful of people who go out and want to make a living, want to make money, want to talk about money, and are okay with making money. A lot of people feel like there's something wrong with that. Now you can't have a different standard for people and for yourself. It's a value. It doesn't work that way. If money is a value, if wealth is a value, not the love of it, but having it, there's nothing wrong with that. So you are also going to appreciate somebody else who's going and being very industrious and going after getting their bag. There's nothing wrong with that. The two things I don't think are incompatible. It's what you think of it. Many people think that wealthy people are bad. Wealthy people are selfish. Wealthy people, have no soul. If that's what you think, that's what you're not going to go after. But if you look at other kinds of wealthy people who are doing great things and who are making a difference, then you have a different conception of what wealth is, don't you? And so you can train your mind, train the value in your life to look like that as opposed to what you don't want it to look like. Here's another interesting one, you guys. Can you be a professional, independent, educated woman and also have a great relationship, a great partner? What do you think? What has your experience told you? What is life telling you is the answer to that question? I wonder. Let's go in a little further. A lot the common thinking is that if you are a person in leadership, a woman in leadership, a powerful woman, that men stay away from you, that it will be difficult to get into a relationship. Isn't that the common thinking? I was reading this book by Sheryl Sandberg, however, and there was a quote. Let me see if I can pull it out. There was a quote in there that I found so interesting. And she was saying that in her estimation, and obviously she moves in those circles, she said that most women she knows who are in top leadership positions do have partners who, one, are present, and secondly are very involved in, of all things, taking care of the home, making a difference in the domestic sphere to allow such a woman to be able to go out and to do what she does best. So it's a misconception if you're holding that view that because I'm educated, because I'm a leader, because I'm a strong woman, maybe I'm meant to be single. I'm not saying that's not the case. It could be that maybe that's just not your thing. You don't want it, whatever. But the thing is that don't take it as a given that you have to pit one value, the value of independence and the value of succeeding in life, against being in a relationship and having a fulfilling, satisfying relationship. The two things can go together. Again, let's come to what does having a relationship look like? Because a strong woman, an independent woman, is not going to be June Cleaver coming home and baking cookies. So you can't go for a partner who wants that. Okay? Does that make sense? You can't go for a partner who wants those kinds of things because you are not that. And when I was thinking about this, I was having such fun. I love to have those big statistics to open our minds to at least the possibility that things are possible for us, okay? So, if is that the only kind of man there is? A traditional man who wants a traditional woman. Are there other people, other partners who can accept that you can be strong and make a difference in the workplace and make a difference at home when you can, and tailor their own schedule and their own conception of what it means to be a partner to somebody who's maybe has a busier schedule than they do, maybe makes more money than they do? Yes, it's possible. So here this statistic I pulled out. I forgot, I pulled it out from an online, how many males, I just went to look for how many males are there in the world, okay? Statistics times, it's called demographics. It says out of, and this is from 2021, out of the 3.97 billion males in the world, representing 50.42% of the world population. That's how many men there are in the world. So you mean to tell me all of these men all think the same way? All of these men we want you to come home and bake cookies. And I'm being, I know, a bit facetious here. Like, we have grown, okay? And we have not been the only ones who have grown. Even our partners and the people we grew up with in school are now accustomed of seeing women doing their thing out there. They're accustomed to it. Their mothers were like that. Their schoolmates were like that. Somehow, when it comes to choosing a partner, then we think that we close our minds and we think that, oh my gosh, it's not possible. I have to find somebody who can, like, crush it in the workplace and, also come home and keep a pristine place. And hello, let us redefine what relationship is, and then you can see how these values can coexist. Maybe in your mind, the reason you're thinking that perhaps two values, whatever they are, might not be able to exist together, it might just simply be because of what you think that value is supposed to look like. What about that? Hey, Jason. Hi. This was, oh my goodness, you guys, sorry. Thank you for saying that it was a great subject. Hey, Lydia, good afternoon to you. Welcome to my audience on Facebook, on LinkedIn, wherever you're joining me from. Thank you for being here. Okay. So we're still talking about values, and I'm here to encourage you to open your mind. Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. I'm here. Miller, what do you mean that it's a law? What do you mean by that? Tell me about that, Miller. That's a very interesting point, right? That's a very interesting point. What is a law? How many laws are there? Do you follow laws? You guys, let me tell you that. A couple years ago, I think I kind of looked at life and I decided, hey guys, how are you? And I just simply decided I'm just not going to follow anything that doesn't serve me. Okay? That kind of threw out a lot of the traditional thinking in church. It it doesn't serve women. And there is no way on this God green earth that I am an anomaly. I'm not supposed to have a voice or be strong. I'm supposed to cut myself into pieces to fit somebody else. No. As I said, there are 3.97 billion males on the world. Which one is yours? Which one can this God make align with who you are to make you fit into him and him fit into you to make two holes? Because you're whole and he's whole. So it's two holes coming together. It doesn't have to be that your relationship is like everybody else's, because you're not like everybody else. So if in your mind you're like, there's room enough, there are people enough, there are options enough in whatever you're talking about. There are options enough to accommodate who I am. What if you started there? What would happen to how you look at the values that you not only stick to, but the values that you take on and that you embrace instead of shutting them out is not possible? Let me give you another example. Some people think that they have to choose between having a good family life and having a successful business. Why? Did you think that, of course, if you have a successful business, you might be working more hours? Of course, if you have a successful business, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's not going to be just the normal come home, sit down, have dinner every day. It's not going to be that way. So it means that those two values can exist, like have being busy and having business and having a good relationship and having a good family. Those values can exist, but it's how. So what I'm calling us to is to look at the values that you perhaps looked at the side, and these are not for me because I'm not like that. I'm not the traditional. Nobody asked you to be traditional. Thank you very much. Ditch traditional. It's boring. It's not you. According to Henry Thoreau, and he said something about just be the best person that you can be your best self, because everybody else is taken. No, everybody else is taken. So it means then you don't discount yourself because of who you are. Every other thing that other people have, every other value that seems easy for them is also available to you, but just in your way of doing and being that thing. So for example, a busy business household is not going to be always very calm. Maybe dinner might just simply be once a week. Maybe dinner, and like it took me a while to realize. Let me give you an example. So I was trying to, like, just listening to all these podcasts about family, whatever, and just trying to find, like a spot for us to have devotions on a weekly basis. Oh my goodness, right? Or I've just felt so condemned listening to all these people who just seem to have it down pat. One day, going down, like driving my kids to school, I realized that was the perfect time. I didn't have time. One had basketball there, one had this here. There was no time. So just do it on the way down to school. That's it. Did we have a good time? Yes, we did. We still got together when we could, how we could. And I think that's how we need to look at life and look at values. It's not a matter of whether we can do it. I think we need to redefine exactly what that value means. So, you guys, a lot of great things can go together. You can be a successful business person and have a great relationship. You don't have to have a broken you don't have to have broken pieces. You can hold it all together in your own way. You can, for example, be a strong woman and have a partner, because you're not going to have a partner who says women are supposed to be seen and not heard. That's not for you. Leave him where he is. Thank you very much. Find somebody who's meant for you. I like to, there's somebody, there's a little acronym that I have called an UMFI. And I like to write about relationships. Like I feel like I'm kind of leaning towards that a little bit. But you can find an UMFI uniquely made for you. There's that person out of the five, if you're a woman, out of the how many billion people, males in the world, you have an UMFI. Okay? And then another value we looked at, just for us to wrap up, is hey, Akama, how are you? Good morning or good afternoon to you. You're most welcome, right? Another thing is wealth and spirituality. Can these go together? Are you in your mind hating on rich people? If you're doing that and hiding behind some kind of fake spirituality, it's not gonna work. The two things can go together. It's what you think of it. And I love this one in particular because we always like to say, oh, the love of money, like money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. And the same Bible says money is a defense. The same Bible says money answers all things. Are you listening to me from France? What time is it there? Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Thank you. Somebody's listening to me from France on Facebook. That's awesome. Okay, so we're right at the 20-minute mark. I'm trying to be disciplined and have discipline as one of my values because it makes life much easier. So I'm going to end here today. And I'll tell you stuff that I'm doing in the background. I'll tell you next week. So join me same time, 12 o'clock, my time, Mountain Standard Time, next week, Monday. And I think I'll have a surprise for you guys. Something that just happened yesterday that I'm so happy for. Yeah. So Kama says, listening to you from France. Most welcome. Okay, folks, have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. And I want you to ask yourself the question, what if? What if a lot more were possible? What if the values and the things that represent the values that you've discounted and you've struck off your list What if those things are still available to you, just in your way of interpreting what that value is in your life? That's the whole point of today. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you on Monday, same time. Bye. See ya.